Hello students, my name is Mangesh Dinanath Godbole, Head of the Department Pharmaceutics, Kamla Nehru College of Pharmacy, Butibari, Nagpur. In the second part of aerosol drug delivery, we will discuss types and formulation of aerosol dosage form. There are 5 types of aerosol system: solution system, also called as two-phase system; water-based system, also called as three-phase system; suspension or dispersion system; foam system, which includes aqueous, non-aqueous, quick breaking and thermal foam, and the next is the intranasal foam. Two-phase system comprise of vapor phase and liquid phase. Liquid phase containing the liquefied propellant and product concentrate. If drug is soluble in propellant, there is no need of co-solvent. Generally, a single propellant or mixture of propellants are used. But when the mixture of propellants are used, there is reduction in the vapor pressure and production of bigger size aerosol particles are there. Propellants having vapor pressure less than 12, that propellant number 12 are used. Some examples are propellant 12-11 in a ratio of 30-70, propellant 12-114 in a ratio of 45-55. In three-phase system, non-aqueous solvents are replaced by a large quantity of water. Propellants and water are immiscible. This system is comprised of a layer of water immiscible liquid propellant, a layer of highly aqueous product concentrate, and the vapor phase. Ethanol is used as a co-solvent to solubilize the propellant in water. It also reduces the surface tension, which leads to smaller droplets. Propellant content varies from 25 to 60%. Other co-solvents are esters of oleic acid, palmitic acid, stearic acid. They produces the dry spray with small particles. Some advantages are no chilling and non-inflammability after product delivery. Suspension system consists of dispersion of active ingredients in propellant or mixture of propellant using suspending agent. The physical stability of suspension can be increased by choosing minimum soluble API. For example, if we consider the two forms of ephedrine bititrate is less soluble than the HCl, and ephedrine bititrate is suitable for suspension system. Physical stability can be increased by the control of moisture content, that is less than 300 ppm, active ingredient with minimum solubility, initial particle size of less than 5 micron, propellant density, and suspending agents. Agglomeration leads to clogging of valve in such types of systems. So, surfactants are used in a concentration of 0.01 to 1% to reduce this agglomeration and to improve the stability of the preparation. Some examples are sorbitol monolaurate, sorbitol monooleate, sorbitol triolate, isopropyl myristate. Foam system contains dispersion of aqueous and non-aqueous vehicles, surfactants and propellant. Liquefied propellants are used as internal phase. 4 types are aqueous, non-aqueous, quick breaking and thermal foams. When we talk about the aqueous stable foam, the propellant content is 3 to 4%. If the amount of propellant is increased, stiffer or dry foam is produced, and in lower concentration, watery foam is produced. Propellant are in the internal phase. Hydrocarbons and compressed gas propellants are generally used, and examples are steroidal antibiotics. Non-aqueous consist of glycol such as propylene glycol monostearate as a emulsifying agent. Quick breaking foam, propellants used in external phase, product emitted as foam and then collapse into liquid. They are used for the topical application. Some cationic, anionic, non-ionic surfactants are used which are soluble in water and alcohol. Thermal foams delivers the warm foam. An example is the shaving cream. For the delivery of major quantity of drug into the nasal cavity, intranasal foams are used. Advantages are low dose required, reduces irritability of nasal mucosa, flexibility in dosing, sterility can be maintained. Types of aerosol delivery: nebulizers. It is a device used to convert liquid drug into a fine mist which can then be inhaled easily. The types are jet nebulizers and ultrasonic nebulizers. Jet nebulizers, it is powered by high pressure air. Air causes atomization. Nebulizer commonly used in hospitals and home for drug administration have small medication reservoir, that is less than 10 ml. This is the reservoir. It is used generally for the pediatric patients. Meter dose inhaler are pressurized handheld devices that use propellants to deliver doses of medication into the lungs. Meter dose inhalers introduced in the mid 1950. In meter dose inhalers, drug is either dissolved or suspended in a liquid propellant mixture together with other excipients including surfactants and presented in a pressurized canister fitted with a metering valve. A predetermined dose is released upon actuation. When released from the canister, the formulation undergoes volume expansion into the passage within the valve and forms mixture of gas. Ray diagram of meter dose inhaler. It causes incorporation of medicaments. Next is the dry powder inhaler. In this system, drug is inhaled as a cloud of fine particles to the lungs in the form of dry powder. Here we use the medicament in a dry form. Preferably, particle size is less than 5 micron. Sometimes carriers are incorporated to prevent the adherence of particles to the mucous membrane. The large particle deposit in the throat and smaller particle reach into the deeper respiratory tract. In our first presentation, we already discussed the effect of particle size into the deposition of various parts of respiratory system. Some advantages are, drug is either preloaded in a inhaled device or filled in hard gelatin capsule. Capsule is then placed into the device and it is inhaled. It is propellant free, no additive except some carriers like lactose. It can deliver large dose than MDI. Some disadvantages are chances for spilling of powder from device. Then we move towards the manufacturing of pharmaceutical aerosols. By three ways pharmaceutical aerosols are prepared: cold filling process, pressure filling process, compressed gas filling process. Aerosol concentrate consists of drug or the combination of drug, solvents, antioxidants and surfactants and formulated as solution or suspension. General process include: the aerosol concentrate is first prepared and then filled into the container. The propellant is then filled into the container. Therefore, part of the manufacturing operation takes place during the filling operation. Measures to ensure that both concentrate and the propellants are brought together into a proper proportion. In cold filling process, chilling of all components including the concentrate and the propellant at a temperature of -30 to -40 degree Fahrenheit is required. This temperature is necessary to liquefy the propellant gas. The cooling system may be a mixture of dry ice and acetone or refrigeration system. First, the product concentrate is chilled and filled into already chilled container, followed by chilled liquefied propellant. The heavy vapor of the cold liquid propellant generally displaces the air into the container. The single head or multiple head rotary unit capable of vacuum crimping up to 120 can per minute are available. Rotary unit requires air pressure and vacuum. A valve is placed either manually or automatically depending on the production rate required. The valve is crimped in place by using valve crimper. The ray diagram of cold filling process. Here the product is filled. Advantages are easy process and it is very handy. Disadvantages: chilling of product, container and propellant is required. Aqueous product, emulsions and these products and those products adversely affected by cold temperature cannot be filled by this method. Second method is the pressure filling method. In this method we use the burettes and this method is carried out at room temperature under the high pressure. Burettes capable of metering small volume of liquid gas under pressure into the aerosol containers are used. The propellant is added through the inlet valve located at the bottom or top of the burette. The desired amount of propellant is allowed to flow through the aerosol valve into the container under its own vapor pressure. When the pressure is equalized between the burettes and the container, thus the propellant stops flowing, and we can add more quantity of propellant by using a compressor or a cylinder with a nitrogen gas. The pressure of the nitrogen gas, or that is the compression, causes more propellant flow. This is the diagram, that is of the pressure burette. Advantages are: it is a preferred method for solution emulsion and suspension, less chances for contamination of product with the moisture, less propellant is lost, no refrigeration is required and can be carried out at room temperature. The third method is the compress filling. In this method, compressed gas which are filled into the cylinder under high pressure are used to fill the container. These cylinders are fitted with a pressure reducing valve and a delivery gauze. Some steps involved are: the concentrate is placed into the container, the valve is crimped and placed, air is evacuated by the means of vacuum pump. From that container the air is evacuated. The filling head is inserted into the valve opening, valve depressed, so there is entry of container contents and gas is allowed to flow into the container. For those products requiring an increased amount of gas, or those in which the solubility of gas in the product is necessary, carbon dioxide and nitrous oxides can be used. To obtain maximum solubility of the gas in the product, the container is shaken manually during and after filling operations by mechanical shaker, so that there is the maximum solubility can be ensured. These are the three methods for filling the aerosol containers. Thank you. For more details, you can contact mdgodbole@gmail.com.